and Scotland Yard has been promised the cash to continue investigating Madeleine McCann's disappearance for another 12 months. Let me get something absolutely straight from the word go. I would be delighted to be able to tell you that it's 4 minutes after 8 on Thursday, whatever it is, and the fantastic news that Madeleine McCann has been found safe and well, living in far-flung corner of the world, and she's now on a plane, being flown back to meet with her parents, who are said to be overjoyed to meet with the family in Leicestershire. That would be fantastic. There'd be books, there'd be movies, there'd be mini-series, Netflix would be cranking it up immediately. It is with a heavy heart, my friends. I don't think I'll ever be able to bring you that news. That is the desperately sad reality of the situation for that family. Nothing can prepare those parents, and indeed the siblings, for what they've endured. It is truly appalling, and speaking as a parent myself, my heart goes out to them. None of us need to question whether what they did or didn't do when they went out to dinner with their friends. No one will be examining that more carefully, closely, and stringently than those poor parents. All that being said, at what point is enough enough? Approximately 140,000 children go missing in Britain each year. Now, 90+% of them are discovered within the first 24 to 48 hours. And you know, if you've had children as I have, the minute they're late back on their bicycle, the minute they're late back on your bicycle, you're ready to call in the Marines. There is no actual tally of how many children are still missing, which I find surprising, but we've looked at every which way we can, but we can't find. But it's fair to say there are probably thousands who've never turned up. Again, that's heartbreaking for all those parents. But why does this case continue for all these years? Indeed, more than 12 years. Are there some new leads? It would appear not. Indeed, 2017 through 18, Scotland Yard made just 2 visits to Portugal. Now, if they were over there every other Thursday, and they were actively chasing someone who had a blue Fiat or whatever it was, and I get it. But is this money well spent? First to journalist and writer Sonia Poulton, who's also presented documentaries on this case and joins me now. Is it time to turn off the cash? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Well, obviously, people are naturally angry. We're talking in excess of 12 million plus for a crime that didn't even take place in the UK. I get it. I get the anger. Now, look, we either trust the police or we don't. If we're accusing this of being a whitewash, then we're saying that the police are corrupt, which is what a lot of people are saying. But
well, I assure you I'm not. I just want to get the record straight. I'm not saying...
You have to look online to see what people are saying, and I know that you probably have. But if it's legit, then the police have to finish their job. We don't know what goes on in Operation Grange. The Portuguese police still take the lead. And Operation Grange were quite clear. They said that they're not going to give a running commentary. And some recent press stories are just rehashing of old stories, such as the alleged German paedophile, who was ruled out long ago. We must be sure that everyone there in 2007 is subject to scrutiny. There must be no stone unturned. But I'm wondering if Operation Grange have taken advantage of the services of Dr. Mark Perlin, that was recently reported in media, and it's quite correct. And Dr. Mark Perlin is a renowned DNA specialist. He offered Operation Grange's services to re-examine 18 DNA samples from the apartment. It's more sophisticated testing than the original testing, and they may well have taken that up. I don't know. But what we do know is that this is an extraordinary case, and it must come with extraordinary terms.
Every child who goes missing.
We must be guaranteed a full and frank inquiry.
Sonia.
With the spending of 12 million at the end of it.
Sonia.
But we can't. If we say stop now, that's 12 million up against the wall.
Well, Sonia, where does it end?
I understand. But you see, the thing is as I say, we simply don't know what's going on in that investigation. The various media keeps telling us, but media doesn't know.
No, of course it
doesn't. The media doesn't know. And so where does it end? Well, that's a question, I think, for another time. But at this moment in time, Operation Grange have asked to be refunded for another year, and I think that is something that we simply have no alternative, obviously, but to back. And to have some faith that this may be leading somewhere.
Sonia, you talk about the special aspect of this particular case, don't you think that all the other parents, and there will be thousands of them, whose
100%.
children have never... They're special cases as well. Why have they not had a 12-year investigation costing £1 million a year?
Couldn't agree more, Nick. Absolutely couldn't agree more. I've railed against this for a long time. Ben Needham, many children. One child goes missing every 5 minutes. You're absolutely right. But the fact is that we know this is an extraordinary story. You only have to look at all of the various government interventions. So this is a story that runs deep. I've made 2 documentaries on it, looking at different aspects of the case. And as I say, extraordinary story requires an extraordinary response. And I think that, sometimes we just have to go along with things. But since when has the public decided that a police investigation must end?
No, I agree there, although they do have a view of how their money is spent. How do you think the story... Do you think the girl will hopefully be found alive, or do you think we will discover what happened to her on that night? What's your, if you'll pardon the expression, gut feeling, Sonia Poulton?
My feeling is that that it's highly likely we will discover what happened that night. Bear in mind that this has been a murder investigation for the longest time. It's, it isn't just about finding Madeleine, it's about finding what happened to Madeleine. Certainly the PJ believed that it was highly likely that Madeleine may well have died in the apartment. We don't know how, we don't know at the hands of who, we don't know any of those things. But what we do know is it's an active investigation.
Well, that's true.
And, at the end of it, yes, we need full and frank inquiry.